Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? I want to ask you about Tyson Bagent. The 2 games, early returns. What's been your reaction to the early returns through 2 weeks?
Look, I watch the All-22 closely every week. I thought his first game, they didn't ask him to do too much. He didn't make mistakes. He took care of the football, and he was solid. And people were like, wow, that's what competent quarterback play looks like. Because as talented as Justin Fields is, he holds the ball too long. He's gun shy at pulling the trigger and throwing over the middle of the field. Whereas this Bagent kid, that ball's out now. 2.2, 2.5 seconds. Like, he goes through his read, boom, ball's gone. And so people really liked it. Against the Chargers, it's 14-0 before you blink, then it's 17-0, and he made one bad throw. I thought that DJ Moore ran a poor route, and Tyson put the ball where DJ wasn't. He had a much easier throw over the middle to Darnell Mooney, and he didn't take that. It wasn't a check down, but it wasn't a big play, and that was a mistake. And then I thought he had a couple bad reads in the second half. Other than that, I thought he played better than people realized. The Bears just got pounded. So I think he's a very solid football player who has a long-term future at this point as a backup quarterback in the NFL. Can he become a starter? Maybe.
You mentioned DJ Moore. Aside from DJ Moore, do the Bears have enough around Bagent to come to the Dome against that Saints defense and be competitive offensively?
Do they have enough? If they take care of the football, yes, they do. Can they do that without turning it over? I'm not quite sure. Their offensive line's still banged up. Their right tackle, who's the rookie, Darnell Wright out of Tennessee, he's a beast. I mean, a beast. He'll be on the all-rookie team, but he's not healthy. 2 weeks ago, he was literally playing with one arm. But he's that warrior mentality with a nasty, nasty bite that he's going to play through it. Our right guard, who they signed for $30 million in free agency, Nate Davis, he's not practicing. He's out with a high ankle sprain. He's missed the last 2 games, and he's already out for this game. So that's a problem. So you took your left guard, who's really good, Kevin Jenkins. Now he's playing right guard. Our center, we're horrible. We have the worst pair of centers in the National Football League. I mean, truly. Like, just find a fat dude walking around New Orleans and put him in there, and it can't be any worse. Our left guard is Cody Whitehair. He's gotten older. They had him at center this year. He couldn't snap. He's not a center. He's a guard. He's okay. And our left tackle is still out, Braxton Jones. Now, he's in his 21-day window. If he's activated, we get better on the offensive line. I'm just not sure he's ready to play.
Dave Kaplan's with us, ESPN 1000 in Chicago. He's on Twitter at The Cap Man. You can give him a follow, Cap with a K, The Cap Man. If we flip it over, I think it's really interesting, Dave, because being here in Louisiana, we just don't see the Bears all the time. So the perception always is Bears have great defense. Well, this Bears defense is not great. But they added Montez Sweat. So let's start there. Catch us up to speed on what is a realistic role for Montez Sweat this weekend.
He doesn't really know the system, but he's a really good football player. So I think having Montez Sweat here was a good decision. To be able to do that for a second-round draft pick, you're not getting a player that competitive in the second round who's ready to play. He's 27, turning 28. They're going to get him locked up on a long-term deal. So I thought it was a really, really astute trade. Now, if they don't get the contract extension done, then it was a stupid trade. But, Ryan Poles, our GM, was pretty open with the media yesterday when he said, we're working on an extension. We should have something done pretty soon. So I assume that when he says that, we can believe that that's going to get done. I think you'll see him help our pass rush. He should make Yannick Ngakoue better because we didn't have a pass rush without Sweat being added other than Ngakoue, and he's getting doubled all the time. We're good against the run. I think we're third in the league last I looked. against the run, but it's their pass defense because they get no pressure that causes them issues.
Is the Saints offense, which when it's right, looks pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of weapons there. The problem is they haven't been able to get out of their own way at times this year. Does the Saints offense create a lot of issues specifically for this Bears defense?
It does, because Eddie Jackson, our safety, he was active last week, didn't even get on the field. He's got a foot injury. Jaquan Brisker, our other safety, who I think has a chance, he could stay healthy, to be a really, really good football player. He's a second-year guy out of Penn State. Well, he's in concussion protocol. He missed last week's game with an illness and then came in on Monday and said, I don't feel good. And they put him back into concussion protocol, which he'd been cleared from a week earlier. So if neither of those two guys can play, then we take a huge step back with our safety play. And then Jalen Johnson's a very, very good corner, as is Kyler Gordon. So I think they should be okay there. Linebacking core is really good. Tremaine Edmonds is dealing with a bulky knee, but I think he'll be ready to go. So it's Edmonds, Edwards, and Sanborn. That's a pretty darn good group right there. Up front, can we pressure the quarterback? That's the question.
Man, the Saints' offensive line at times has been atrocious trying to protect Derek Carr. Look, I look at the line, and it's 8.5. It's always surprising when you see a number that big in the NFL. Dave, does that feel about right with the Bears coming into the Dome this weekend? Yeah,
it does. It absolutely does. They went to the Chargers, and you blinked, and it was 14-0. Then it's 17-0. Then it's 17-7. And you let them go right down the field and make it 24-7 for the half. So that was, the ball game right there. We never really got back in it and lost 30-13. I don't think the Bears are going in and beating New Orleans. I don't. You guys covered 8.5. That's a lot of points to a National Football League team that has some decent players on it. So I don't think I would bet the game. But if you made me make a pick in a Survivor, I don't see the Saints losing.
Yeah, last thing for you, Dave. If the Bears do come in and pull the upset, and I mean, it's the NFL and anything can happen. What would that blueprint look like for Eberflus and the guys?
If they pull the upset, it means Tyson Bagent was efficient. There was no takeaways by the Saints defense, and the Bears turned the Saints over. If they can do that, and then effectively run the football with Dante Foreman and Roschon Johnson, then they could do that. But that's asking a lot of an undrafted Division II rookie in his third start. And he played at SoFi, where half the stadium or more was Bears fans. The other game was in Chicago. You're asking him to go into the Dome against that team with that crowd, with that noise level, have to use silent count in start 3, and not have any issues at all? I don't believe it. You have to show me that can happen.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.